One day, as Jesus was teaching the people in the temple and preaching the gospel, the chief priests and the scribes with the elders came up and said to him, "Tell us, by what authority do you do these things? Or who it is that gave you this authority?" He answered them, "I will ask you a question. Now tell me, was the baptism of John from heaven or from man?" And they discussed it with one another, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will say, 'Why did you not believe him?' But if we say from man, all the people will stone us to death, for they are convinced that John was a prophet." So they answered that they did not know where it came from. And Jesus said to them, "Well, neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things." Luke 20, 1 through 8.
At one point, the religious leaders used spies to work into the crowd in order to catch Jesus in a trap, anything to put him at odds with the Roman governor. They asked, "Is it lawful for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" Luke 20, 21. They were attempting to get Jesus to decry the oppressive Roman tax system. They figured he would seize the opportunity to build a popular appeal with his Jewish audience. The Gospel of Luke continues.
But he perceived their craftiness and said to them, "Show me a denarius. Whose likeness and inscription does it have?" They said, "Caesar's." He said to them, "Then render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." And they were not able in the presence of the people to catch him in what he said, but marveling at his answer, they became silent. Luke 20, 23 through 26.
Now, in case you were wondering, we can't be totally sure what coin Jesus used in this often quoted gospel text, but it is presumed to be this one. Because it is a Roman denarius, and it has an image of Roman Emperor Tiberius on it. And Tiberius was emperor at the time. On a final occasion, the Pharisees gathered together in order to come up with a question that would stop Jesus in his tracks. One of them, a lawyer, asked the following as the ultimate test. "Teacher, which commandment is the most important of all?" Jesus answered, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment, and a second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets." Matthew 22, 37 through 40. Now, incredibly, Jesus was wrapping the entirety of the Hebrew Scriptures, the deposit of all the religious laws and all of the prophetic teachings that have been passed down over the centuries, into two commands: love God and love others. The Gospel of Mark tells us that after that, no one dared ask him any more questions. In a nutshell, the religious authorities were getting shut down and shut out. Jesus was not making it easy for them to trap him in his own words, and he was becoming, for them, more and more of a threat. But the common followers of Jesus were starting to understand things more clearly, like they had special goggles to see and special earbuds to hear. Now, the Gospel of John has only one parable. Its context is very visual and very meaningful. But the religious Pharisees didn't get it, but the hard-working locals sure did. Now, I know it's the 21st century, and very few of us have experience with sheep or sheep herding. But see if you can tell what Jesus was trying to say to the religious authorities that he was talking to.
"Very truly, I tell you, Pharisees, anyone who does not enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs in by some other way, is a thief and a robber. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought out all his own, he goes on ahead of them, and his sheep follow him because they know his voice. But they will never follow a stranger. In fact, they will run away from him because they do not recognize a stranger's voice." Jesus used this figure of speech, but the Pharisees did not understand what he was telling them. Therefore, Jesus said again, "Very truly I tell you, I am the gate for the sheep. All who have come before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep have not listened to them. I am the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved. They will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. But when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons the sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also. They too will listen to my voice, and there shall be one flock and one shepherd. The reason my Father loves me is that I lay down my life, only to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of my own accord. I have authority to lay it down and authority to take it up again. This command I received from my Father. John 10, 1 through 18.